What's up? I'm an Empathetic Chicken, and today I have some free time, so I figured I would do a video on deck creation. It could be Oracle deck. I haven't made a tarot deck yet, but I'm working on my second Oracle deck, and I just thought it would be cool to document sort of in the making, and then just kind of give some thoughts on maybe the steps that you can take if you want to do something similar, because I made a deck already, and so I kind of figured out some things that you shouldn't do. So with this next deck, I'm trying to avoid those things. So I have a list of things that you should probably consider if you want to make a deck, and hopefully it'll be helpful. So I'm gonna share it. Ignore the two-tone house I got going on, because I started painting, and then I kind of lost my little drive there. So I'm just waiting for the energy to return. But yeah, it is what it is, so we're gonna go with it. But yeah, so basically, if you don't know what an Oracle deck is, you're probably not even watching this video, so I'm not even going into that. But yeah, this is my deck. I got my cards printed, got a little guidebook, a little baggie. But this is sort of just a do-it-yourself attempt more. I don't know. I kind of didn't go the mainstream printer thing, all that. I didn't know nothing about all that. So I just kind of figured it out as I went. But now I feel like I have more knowledge and direction, because I don't know if anybody watched my interview with Mari in the Sky. That's her Instagram handle. But she's the creator of the Gentle Tarot, so she gave some really good info on her experience on Kickstarter. So yeah, she helped me a lot with sort of this new route I'm going. But anyway, I'm gonna just get to what I was gonna say. So yeah, if you're making a deck, first thing you probably want to do is have a concept, or just figure out the purpose of it. If you know what an Oracle deck is, you probably kind of figured out. It's I don't know, I kind of think of it as a little guidance tool, a tool that you consult for guidance. And it can even be just a little motivation, whatever, little pick-me-ups. So yeah, just figure out what are you kind of going for. Oracle decks are more free, so you can kind of pick whatever. You could have a cat themed oracle, or whatever you like. I have a chicken themed one, so it's just a matter of what you like and what you want to kind of create. Yeah, so just pick a theme that can kind of help you shape the direction that you want to take. You know what I mean? You probably do. Makes sense. So yeah, then you want to figure out how do you want to go about making the art for the designs, because generally an Oracle deck has images and then keywords. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but the majority of ones that I've seen, that's how they kind of do it. Which you don't have to have keywords, or you could have just words, just images. It's all on preference, really. Yeah, so just figure out the medium that you want to use for creating your deck. Some people create it by hand, doing traditional art stuff. Some people do the digital art route, and there's collage. Pretty much it's endless possibilities, however you want to create it. And there's different programs that you can use if you want to do digital. I feel there's some good people who use, definitely Kristen from Over the Moon Academy. She has a lot of good resources for creating stuff online with different programs. I'll link her below, that way y'all can check her out, because I'm more the traditional route. I just draw mine and paint and stuff like that. So just decide what you want to do. I'm not too good at the digital realm yet. I don't like digital. I like it, but I'm not good at it personally when I make art, so that's why I don't do that. But other people are really good at it, so I'm not dissing it. But yeah, so figure out what means you want to take to make your little dream come to life, or whatever, your little idea. Bring it into reality. And then you probably want to decide like if you want to have like meanings. I mean, you'll obviously have meanings like when you make something. Like there's a reason you make it, but like some decks have guidebooks and some don't, so you probably want to figure out like, well, do I want to have like a book full of meanings to go with the cards? Because I mean that's a whole nother aspect. You gotta like write a lot of stuff. And I mean there's different things you can include in the guidebook, like kind of like a how-to section, or you might want to tell the story of your deck, like the idea, where it came from or how it came to be and all that. Like I mean you can include whatever you want in the book. I think I kind of did that with mine. I don't even I have a section on like using the cards, and then like acknowledgments, you can add that. I had that, and then yeah, I was pretty short and sweet with mine. I just had a little introduction talking about how it came to be and all that. So whatever you want to put in there. You don't even have to have a guidebook, like some decks don't. It's just like what you want pretty much. So yeah, if you're doing a guidebook, I mean you'll need to know how many cards you're gonna do, and then that'll tell you kind of like how many pages. Like just write all the little things. Like I mean you'll need this stuff later once you're like actually going into production mode. Like if you're kind of doing like the mass produce route. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But I mean you might not even want to go like that far. You might just be making something for yourself. So I mean there's options for that too, like little print on demand stuff. We can do like low quantities, so it's all good. Like you just gotta figure out what your specific needs are. Yeah. But then you probably want to figure out like if you want to have a box. I mean I've seen people use like those little bags that you get in like little metaphysical shops. Like you don't necessarily have to have a box. I mean I've seen people use little pouches or those little burlap bags or any kind of little bag. Just I mean if you do decide to have a box, then you're probably gonna want to have a design like for that, because these are things that I didn't have to worry about with this deck, because like I kind of just sewed the bag. I mean I obviously had to design this, but like now that I'm doing a new deck, like I'm realizing, oh, there's gonna be like an outside to the box and an inside. And those are all like opportunities for designs. Like I can kind of get free with it and put more ideas in there, you know what I mean? So that's something to consider, your little box design. And then like the cards, I mean, depending on what you decide to do for the fronts, like that'll probably be like whatever image you decide, and then like your word. But the backs, like that was something that I had to consider with the other deck. Like, which I sort of, oh yeah, the book design too, you're gonna have to have a cover and a back for that, but I kind of did the backs the same as the book back. But you know, there's all these little facets that you don't really think about until you're like in the midst of creating, and then yeah, it's just something to remember. Yeah. So another thing, like a really important thing that I kind of forgot about, or I didn't really forget about it, like I think I mentioned this like way back in my video when I was talking about my decks coming out, is like I didn't really intend on them being for everybody when I was making them. So one thing I didn't consider was like the sizing. I kind of just like used like postcards and cut them in half and then just drew on those, not considering like commercial print sizes and how they would translate into like, you know, the sizes needed for printing. So I'm not really happy with how this turned out as far as the borders. Like I've said that many times, but like the reason that these borders are here is because I didn't plan out the sizing while I was creating the designs. So if you're making your deck, you'll want to make sure you figure out what size you want so you can make your art accordingly, because it sucks when you like create something and then you can't get the sizing right. And I'm sure like I probably could have done, like looking back, there's probably a lot more, like a better way, whatever I'm saying. There was a better way I could have done this, but I just chose to do it this way. That's what I knew at the time. It is what it is. Like I'm gonna beat myself up about it now. I still think it, I mean it's perfectly usable. just ignore it. It's like looking at a phone screen, like a little iPhone. No. But that's something you want to do. So like look up like the traditional, if you want to go to traditional tarot size, that's a pretty common size. You can like Google that. Or if you're in contact with a printer, like they'll usually give you like, they can send you templates, and this is like an example of one that I have. You probably can't see it, but I mean they have, I just printed this out, it's not the best quality. Like they have like the little booklet dimensions, and then the card dimensions, and then the box layout, so you can kind of see like what format your design, like the size of your designs. Am I saying things? Okay, sorry, I'm getting caught up on my words. Yeah, figure out the size you need your stuff to be, because it's helpful to do that before. And I recommend like making it bigger. I mean, I feel like as long as it's the exact dimensions that you need, it's fine. But I recommend going bigger. And then like you want to consider like a lot of these little templates have like bleed areas, which is like where you need to extend your design to like the border where like they're going to cut the cards. So like you want to have enough space around your design so that you're not cutting off your design. Does that make sense? So kind of leave yourself some room and consider that too. Yeah. So what else? I mean, I feel like once you have your designs finished, you're gonna want to like translate them into, like if you're going the traditional route like me, you're gonna need to like either scan them in, or like back when I was in art school we would like take pictures of them, but that's kind of difficult because you got to get good lighting and like make sure you're like, you know, parallel to the artwork so it's not all warped. So I mean I would recommend scanning because like that's the most like accurate way to kind of capture the true form of your stuff. But I mean everybody don't have a scanner, so just do what you can do. But yeah, once you scan them in, you're gonna want to use like a program. Like a lot of people use Photoshop, and I think there's other stuff too, like InDesign and all that kind of stuff. I don't really, I mean I've used Photoshop before, and I think I used it for these, but I don't have Photoshop anymore. So for this new deck, I'm probably gonna use Canva, which is a website. Like I'm pretty good with that so far. So I mean that'll work. If you know something else, I mean feel free to leave it in the comments, because I'm just like I'm not with technology. I've just used a little Photoshop. But yeah, there's plenty of ways I'm sure to like get your designs in there and get them the right size and kind of tweak them if you need to, little edits here and there. But yeah, as far as printing goes, you're gonna want to research that, because I mean if you want to go the whole like mass produce route, you're probably gonna want to contact some little printers and get some samples. Like I have contacted two and you gotta pay for little samples, but they send you a box of all kind of different card stocks and edging. And so like the printers that I contacted were overseas, so I mean if you want to go local, that's something else to consider. I've used shuffled ink. That's what I used for the cards on this, because these, like I kind of printed these on my own like at home and assembled the books. So that was something, I kind of did it all kind of weird ways, but it turned out. But these were printed by shuffled ink, and I think they turned out good. But for this next deck, I think I'm gonna do overseas, just because it's more like cost efficient and all that, and you can get like better design options. I think like the edging and stuff, you can get that kind of thing, which isn't really always available locally. That's pretty much all I know. But you want to figure out like if you want to, I mean if you just want like one or two or something like that, there's like little print on demand websites like Make Playing Cards, and what's the other one? I don't remember the other one, but there's another one, and probably more than that I just don't know about. But yeah, that's an option too. And then funding, if you do go mass produce route, Kickstarter is an option, obviously. It's probably what I'm gonna do. I feel like there's a big deck following on there. So it's a good way to get your stuff printed if you don't have the funds to do it, because I remember I printed my first one with my student loan money, which is probably not the best thing, but it's what I did. I just wanted to bring it to life, and I didn't know any other way at the time. So this time I'm gonna try out Kickstarter. So I'm gonna be documenting more of my little journey as I go. So maybe I'll have some more info, things that I figure out along the way. Hopefully this was helpful and informative. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions about anything I said, just like leave them in the comments, and maybe I can make like a follow-up video. And yeah, just let me know. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll be back with another video eventually. Not sure what kind. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you.